Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. Ryan Gravenberch is officially or officially past his medical now. That's the information that is going around at the moment. But there is a potential complication to this deal that we've not really spoken about now. I'm just going to go over to the Evening Standard with a webpage here, talking about when the transfer windows actually close. So across Europe, the deadline varies, with Germany set for a 5 p.m. UK time closing. So how that affects us, obviously, is if they want to sign players, they've got to get players in by 5 p.m. UK time. That we are 4:01 right now in the UK. So in the next 59 minutes, Palhinha needs to move to Bayern Munich before Bayern Munich can give Liverpool the green light that the Gravenberch deal will be signed, sealed and delivered. And what the hold up here is, because Palhinha's passed his medical over at Bayern Munich. Him and his dad are over there right now. They're ready to sign all the papers, the contracts all boxed off, medical all boxed off. Fulham are the club that are holding everybody hostage at the moment because Fulham want to get themselves a replacement. So it kind of sounds like almost Fulham need to get a deal done in the next now 58 minutes, but they need confirmation that they're going to be able to get a deal done before 11 o'clock tonight when the transfer deadline closes in England. So some added complication to the Gravenberch deal there. This is a stress. I think it's probably the right thing to say right now because, excuse me, if Fulham don't find anyone, then Palhinha doesn't go to Bayern Munich, then Gravenberch doesn't come to Liverpool. I have confidence that Fulham will find somebody, hopefully just any lad from the street will do for them. That then means that Palhinha can move to Bayern Munich, which then the domino effect means that Gravenberch can move to Liverpool. We're ready to go. We've agreed everything. He's passed his medical. We're absolutely sound. We need Fulham to pull their finger out of their arsehole and find a player for us to then conclude the business for Ryan Gravenberch. So yeah, all very interesting stuff. Obviously, I think when Dan was last live earlier on today, we were talking a lot about Mo Salah. We were talking about potential replacements as well, and Leroy Sane was shouted out as a potential replacement. Now, obviously, that we only have until 11 o'clock at night to do that. But with Bayern Munich working so hard on buying Palhinha, I can't imagine there is much there for the Leroy Sane deal. It seems incredibly ambitious to be able to get somebody like him in before the transfer deadline, if we were to potentially sell Mo Salah, of course. Now, one of the people that we know through Redmen TV is a brilliant journalist, Kerry Howe, and you can see him on here now on my screen there. He's chief reporter for Sport 1. He's basically a buying guy, and I think he's with Leroy Sane in his header picture. We messaged Kerry and just asked him, is there anything in the Leroy Sane stuff? To which he replied, no. Basically, so no. So according to our source, Kerry Howe, his sources, I don't know who they are, I'll have to be honest, but we did message him and he knows us, so he was good enough to reply. So thank you to Kerry, of course. He's basically said at the moment he's not heard anything. That doesn't mean, chips are in motion and all that type of stuff. Doesn't mean that it's not going to get done, but it doesn't sound like Liverpool are even in for Leroy Sane at the moment. Which is obviously quite interesting. Now, the state of play at the moment is, I suppose, that Liverpool are about to loan Tyler Morton to Hull City. So Hull City are optimistic about finalising a loan deal for Liverpool's Tyler Morton before the transfer deadline, with terms already agreed upon. So it looks like that defensive midfielder could be moving out to Hull City. According to The Athletic, the Tigers are optimistic of seeing the move for the 20-year-olds. Terms were agreed earlier this week, but the move was originally put on hold due to Liverpool's concerns over the level of midfield cover this one feels like a bit of a dominoes effect with Ryan Gravenberch, doesn't it? If Ryan Gravenberch comes in, then we'll let Tyler Morton go out on loan. But if all the mad thing is here, I suppose, is that like we know that Gravenberch isn't exactly a 6, so why is that tying up the Tyler Morton stuff? Maybe it's just pure bodies and numbers more than anything else. And just to bring anybody up to speed who has been living under a rock today with no access to the internet, Liverpool have turned down a £150 million bid, an offer worth £150 million, £100 million up front, £50 million by the sounds of it, and achievable add-ons for Mohamed Salah. We are bracing ourselves currently for a larger offer. Sky Cava from Sky has been chatting on about it over on Sky Sports News and stuff. They're starting to think that, you know, there's a potential that something could get done, and it's not very nice, to be honest with you. So Get French Football News have done a little update for us as well. According to Foot Mercato, journalist Santi Aouna, Mohamed Salah will say yes to Al Ittihad if the Saudi club find an agreement with Liverpool. Earlier on transfer day, where am I here? The player himself, here we go, sorry, is reportedly set to accept the move to the Saudi club if an agreement is struck between the two clubs. Now, I want to just dive down into that a little bit, if I may, because this doesn't sound like Salah is going to force a move to Saudi Arabia, which I think is probably one of the most pertinent and most important points from all of this. He's comfortable leaving it in the hands of Liverpool Football Club, and he's going to obviously feel good either way, whether Liverpool decide to keep him because he knows that he's wanted and they've turned down the biggest fee that we've ever received for a football player to keep him. And equally, you know, if Liverpool decide to move on, then he's quids in with a 500 to 600 million pound contract over the course of his career in Saudi Arabia, which is just mental when you think about it, isn't it? So yeah, Transfer News Live, obviously one of the aggregator Twitter accounts, says Al Ittihad made an astronomical offer for Mo Salah. A contract until June 2027 is on the table, worth total 500 to 600 million euros. Deal includes 3 years of image rights for the role of ambassador to Saudi Arabia. The player will say yes if agreed to leave. So yeah, this links back to Santi Aouna. And if I can just find his tweet, which wasn't that long ago, to be fair, should be able to find it. Here's the original one. Details of the offer for Salah. Contract until June 2027. Salah will get 3 years image rights. Salary between 500 and 6 million. Exactly the same as what Football News Live said, which is mental. Sir Oswald Fortitude says it's a question of who replace Salah with just a few hours remaining. And I think the honest answer to that is Liverpool would not be able to replace Mo Salah full stop. And Liverpool certainly would not be able to replace Mo Salah in just a few hours if they were to sell him. Now, there are two schools of thought. I am very, very firmly, I will say this beforehand, and anyone who's seen these shows throughout deadline day will know I do not believe Liverpool should sell Mo Salah today for any sum of money. But to open it up to the other side of the argument, and I'll play devil's advocate here because it's not something that I believe in, if we trust Liverpool to actually spend the money, and if we trust Liverpool to find the right player, then what did the Phil Coutinho money lead to? I suppose, and it led to Virgil van Dijk, and it led to Alisson Becker, and it led to a league title and a European Cup and Champions of the World, and two other trophies in there, you know, and a Super Cup as well as the FA Cup and the League Cup and stuff like that. So if you believe that Liverpool will spend the money right, then you could potentially try and get somebody in the January window. That means you have to make do for September, October, November, December, 4 months of games, probably half a season. You know, could you move Szoboszlai out to that right-hand side? Could Luis Diaz play on that right-hand side? Jota, Nunes, Gakpo, who knows? I don't think this is a good idea, if I'm being frank with everybody. I think it's an insane idea. I would go down the route, and I said this earlier on today, I would very much go down the route of making sure that you tie that deal up for the summer. If the Saudi Arabian clubs really want, and Al Ittihad specifically really want, Mo Salah, then tie him up for 150, 175 million, but get it done next summer. Or even if you're really going to play like super hardball, which I don't like either, Get it done for January when he goes missing for a month, and get somebody in the January transfer window instead. I just don't think there's a like-for-like replacement out there for Salah at the moment that's available on the market that could have that sort of impact that Salah has on this Liverpool side. And I know we are having to plan for the future without Salah, regardless of whether he goes to Saudi Arabia today or next year. It is something Liverpool need to get right, because he's our talisman. You know, he's a massive massive player. He's in the leadership group, as we all know. Big fella's just sent us a £5 super chat, and he's sorry mate, it looks like you've retracted your message. I'm absolutely find your comment. I will do if you put another one in. Dom Lear says Sobo is the replacement, and I could see that. I could see a world in which Gravenberch plays in that right-hand sort of 8, McAllister on that left-hand 8, Endo in the 6, and Sobo gets pushed outside to that right-hand side. And I mentioned this earlier on, if Salah goes and Sobo is out on that right-hand side and Núñez is the guy through the middle, then Sobo playing the ball right-footed into him and look trying to get your goals through the centre-forward could be a way that Liverpool kind of sort of replace Mo Salah in the short term. But it's not an idea that I believe is a good idea. It's not an idea that I want Liverpool to go down the route of. You could still do that if you've still got Salah there, to be honest with you. But I think one of the things that this kind of comes back to, and this is where I am with all of this at the moment, is that the Saudi Arabian clubs are a problem for the English Premier League. They're a problem because they've got more money, and I'm stating the absolute obvious here. But the real big problem for me at the moment is that they are doing their own team in the Premier League a proper, back scratching section, as it were. Newcastle United are in the Champions League already. They're owned by PIF, and they are in a conversation for top 4 again this year with the squad that they've got. I know they've not had the best start to the season. They certainly didn't have the best weekend, of course. Thank you, Darwin. But Saudi Arabian owned, or PIF owned, Al Ittihad coming in and trying to unsettle one of Newcastle's rivals' best players puts Newcastle United in a better position, especially if they can take that best player and weaken Liverpool in the first half of the season, first 4 months of the season. And this is where I think the ownership of football clubs needs to really seriously be looked at. Like multi-club ownership is damaging competition. And we just did the Europa League draw earlier on today, and we know that Brighton are owned by Brighton's owners owned Union Saint-Gilloise. It was a team that we played in. Now, I don't know the rules and regulations about it, but if they weren't in the same pot, right, could Brighton have been drawn against them? And would St. Gilloise just roll over for Brighton if Brighton needed to go through? I mean, this is the type of stuff, and I know the Saudi Arabian teams aren't under UEFA's wing, so it's slightly different, but when you're trying to buy Liverpool's best players, and when you've bought Fabinho, and when you've bought Henderson, albeit not all PIF-owned football clubs, you are weakening one of the rivals. It's what Bayern Munich do to Dortmund, people will say, every single day, every single season, but it's horrible. It's horrible. So, yeah, just one of those things, isn't it? And I do feel like Liverpool have got themselves into this situation, don't get me wrong. Had Liverpool spent more last summer, had Liverpool strengthened in the right areas, then Liverpool would probably be in the Champions League. But the fact of the matter is we're not in the Champions League, and the Saudi Arabian clubs are looking at us thinking, well, without Champions League football, we can offer them loads more money and no Champions League football. So, yeah, it's a tough one. Christian Tatant Music, thank you very much. It says, I've always said we need a cover for Mo, and now it come back to bite us. I mean, we absolutely 100% need cover for Mo, and we've needed cover for Mo for a long time, and I know he's had a great injury record. That's a fact. I'm not talking about the future, so I don't need to tap wood here. He's had an unbelievable injury history at Liverpool, and we've kind of got lucky with that. And maybe it's not luck, maybe it's because he works so hard to be able to keep himself at peak levels of condition and all that type of stuff. But we've always needed cover, and I don't think just playing someone else out of position is the right way for a top football side to be able to sort of cover their best player, to be honest. And it's kind of the same with Trent Alexander-Arnold, isn't it? We're not in a position where we've got someone who's fit and available to play that right back position who's a natural fit for it. Joe Gomez is not a natural fit for right back. I'm sorry, and he's certainly not a natural fit for right back in this sort of 3-4-3. Is it where, or 3-box-3, however you want to put it. So it's always seemed a little bit strange to me at the moment. I'm just going to have a little look and see if anything else is broken in the last sort of few minutes. I've got something here from the Echo, actually. Florian Plettenberg's tweet, sorry, I'll just go over to there, my bad. João Palhinha and Bayern are waiting in Munich for the green light from Fulham. Medical is all done. Deal is not done yet. 57 minutes left for a final decision. That's now 45 minutes. I'm just going to check if there's an even more up-to-date one. There is not. It was 11 minutes ago that there is not a more up-to-date tweet from Florian Plettenberg. Lucas Stevenson has sealed a loan move. Liverpool midfielder Lucas Stevenson, who you might say, has completed a loan move season long to League Two's Barrow. That's probably as much airtime as that one is going to get. Okay, Tador, Halari, blah. Should we sell Salah next year? I think if you can get a deal done for 150 to 175 million for next summer, this summer, I would do that deal. Because at least you know where you're going. And you've guaranteed a really, really high price and a good price for what will be a 32-year-old Mo Salah at that point. Although it still hurts because he's a Liverpool legend. You know, he's been absolutely incredible for us for so long now, scoring just tons of goals. It would really, really hurt, but you know, as I said earlier on today, things move on, things change, and you know, Salah will go at some point. Hopefully not this summer though, because losing Mo Salah on the transfer deadline day could be possibly one of the stupidest things you could ever do. Who was the guy who shot himself in the cock in 8 Mile? That's what Liverpool would be doing. If they sold Mo Salah on deadline day. Something Cheese, was it? I can't remember now. I mean, it was a film from about 21 years ago. I think it was 2002, 8 Mile. Cheddar Bob. I think it was Cheddar Bob. I said cheese. It is. It's Cheddar Bob. Thank you, Phil. Cheddar Bob. I knew it was something to do with cheese. Yeah. Oh, everyone's in there now with the Cheddar Bob stuff. Thank you very much. I did just about remember it. I'm pleased with myself there. Stop being so sentimental. No. You stop being non-sentimental. Cheddar Bob memes coming in from Redmen TV's Twitter account. I'm sure if Liverpool decide to sell Mo Salah over on deadline day. It is what it is. No more news at present, so we'll just stick in with the comments at the moment. Court Green says, I wish you all would stop hyping the Salah to Saudis. It's not us hyping it. We're talking about it because we're Liverpool fans. The people who are hyping it aren't Liverpool fans. They're the ones who are getting us aggravated and us pissed off and us feeling like I'm about to have a heart attack right in front of you on a deadline day live stream because Sky Sports News won't let it drop. It's all over there all the time. The aggregators on Twitter won't let it stop. And you'll rightly say, listen, you're not letting it drop either. But if I'm not talking about it, somebody else is talking about it, and I'd rather a Liverpool fan talk about it, whether it be me or Dan or whoever else who is a Liverpool fan on YouTube, on Twitter, in Spaces. Who cares? I'd rather listen to a Liverpool fan talk about it because it really does hurt us more than it hurts anybody else. Big fella, thank you so much again for the super chat. There's nothing easy with Liverpool. No, there absolutely isn't ever. We never do anything the easy way, do we? It's one of those things, I'm afraid. Dan said to us earlier on in the week, and he's repeated it multiple times during the course of the week. He's had a feeling that something mental is going to happen. I think the feeling was more around something happening in terms of incomings. Like, if there's something mental happens and it's Salah going out, oh my days. Algebroy, thank you very much, YouTube member here. Chris, do give me some good news. Gravenberch and Holden, Salah being sold. I'm reenacting Gimli. Keep breathing. Yeah, nice Lord of the Rings fan there, of course. Yeah, mate, it's just... The only thing I will say is, and I don't think Liverpool are going to sign a centre-half now, that could be the huge news from out of absolutely nowhere that happens over the course of the next, 8 hours or so. But I do think that the Gravenberch stuff is going to get done. I do think that Fulham will find a replacement. I'm praying that Fulham will find a replacement. You can't see it, right? But I've actually got my fingers crossed right now, even as I'm just talking about it. So I do believe that Fulham /praying/hoping that they'll get something done. I do then believe that Bayern Munich will get their man in Palhinha, and then I do think that finally the buck stops with us signing Ryan Gravenberch, and I'm hoping that in the next few hours that will be official. Obviously the usual rules around, like, you know, making sure that you get all the videos and all that type of stuff, they're going to do that, but it's going to be a dead quick edit because it has to be done today. That's when their numbers are going to get done. And obviously, you know, we'll find out whether Liverpool will be able to play him on Sunday. The one thing I heard earlier on today actually was that Liverpool could potentially play him because they got the paperwork done with the Premier League by 12 o'clock. How can you get the paperwork done with the Premier League by 12 o'clock when you're not signing the lad till 4:20, by the way? How does that work? Because if he's not your player, can you put him into a match day squad? That seems crazy, doesn't it? So surely to goodness, the rule around this should literally just be, you can't put him in your squad until you've signed him. We've missed the 12 o'clock deadline there. Who knows? But, like, let's hope the rules do work in our favour here. Next Gen Animation says, Ryan Gravenberch not unveiled yet. Literally, honestly, if you've just joined the stream, mate, there is 39 minutes for Bayern Munich in their German transfer window. It ends 6 p.m. European time in Germany, ends 5 p.m. UK time here. They need to get Palhinha done before 6 p.m. before they will sell Ryan Gravenberch. Fulham are waiting on a replacement. If Fulham don't get somebody lined up, then the green light won't be given to Palhinha, and the green light, therefore, I'm assuming, won't be given to Ryan Gravenberch either. But my feeling here is it's kind of been a little bit overhyped as well. Like, Ryan Gravenberch is done to Liverpool for all intents and purposes. Tuchel's wiped his hands of Ryan Gravenberch, so is he really going to ask Ryan Gravenberch to go back and play for a year when you've just stopped the lad fulfilling his dream? I don't know. Black and White says, I'd accept Salah for 200 million, but only if we can get Saka for 150 million, 175 million for Bowen and Sane, plus add one or two defenders, like in January, like Mbappe and Araujo. I just think, like, we're at a position, Liverpool, now where you shouldn't be writing seasons off. You really shouldn't. And I know that, like, we are really unlikely to be able to challenge Manchester City this season. But if everything was to go swimmingly, if everything was to go to plan, and if we got no injuries to our plethora of injury-prone centre-halves, then Liverpool's first 11 is good enough to challenge Manchester City. And it might take a little bit of time for the first 11 to gel and stuff, but if we've got that sort of never-give-up attitude, which we've shown over the last 2 games while we've had those red cards, then it's not without the possible range of outcomes that Liverpool could challenge. Take Mo Salah away, and I do think it's out of those potential outcomes. So I don't think there's an outcome where Liverpool sell Salah, where Liverpool can win the league this season, and therefore I wouldn't sell Salah this season. I think it makes winning the Europa League harder, although still very, very possible, looking at the group stages and the teams that are involved currently, obviously with teams to drop out from the Champions League. But, you know, a title challenge should be expected from Liverpool every season while we've got Jurgen Klopp and the players that we've got, the calibre of players that we've got. And selling Salah, we're not in for a title challenge. And people might say that I'm fucking dreaming there anyway, and I might be, but I'm just talking about the range of potential outcomes, and I don't think if you sell Salah, it's in a range of potential outcomes for us to get the league title this season, which of course is really going to be tough anyway. Question here then. Would people prefer to sell Salah now for 175 to 200 or leave on a free in 2024? Honestly, I get the question, but, like, absolutely just sell him next summer if that's going to happen. If he's not going to add an extension to his contract, you do sell him next summer, and I think we're all over that. Black and White says, I completely agree, but 200 million is too good to turn down. It's not though, is it? What to do for us? Why not just sell him in January for 200 million? Why would you sell him now? Fuck that. Sorry. Not having it. Chiranex, what's the deal with Mbappe? Didn't he want to leave earlier in the window? I think the Mbappe stuff comes down that he wants to go to Real Madrid and he's going to get about a £75 million signing on fee. Just saying. Emmett Farrell says, I think you're risking top four selling Salah. It also says something about a selling club. 200 million is not enough. Well, 200 million. I mean, you're a brave man if you're turning 200 million down, aren't you? But I am a brave man, ladies and gentlemen, and I would turn down 200 million. Just do the deal in January. He's gone for a month in January anyway. Get a chance to sign somebody else. Why would you do it now? They're going to want him. They want him. That's the thing. They want him now. They want him in January. Do the deal now for the summer. Best case scenario, by the way. I'm saying it all day. And I'm feeling it in my bones. Anyway, listen, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everyone for super chatting. We'll be back probably with the next video. Very, very shortly, no doubt. If you want more Redmen TV goodness, we've got an incredible video lined up later on this evening. You can use the code Ryan to get 50% off your yearly Captain subscription. You get an entire year's worth of content for $34.99. Please go over there and do that now. You will not regret it. You'll get thousands of hours of entertainment for that $34.99. Better than some jagbird on OnlyFans getting her fucking nipples out for about the same price, to be honest with you, so I'm told. So yeah, definitely get over to Redmen Plus. Get yourself signed up as a yearly club captain, and you will not regret it. But we've got an incredible interview later tonight on Ryan Gravenberch, so fingers crossed the Ryan Gravenberch deal actually goes through. You will not regret it, promise you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.
Hey, thank you so much for watching the show. You're amazing. And if you want to signify your legendary status, then head over to redmenplus.com. Join as a legend tier subscriber. Not only you get all of the great video and podcast content, you'll also be entered into our monthly prize draw for great signed Liverpool gear. And you'll get access to our Discord as well, full of amazing Liverpool supporting human beings. Head to redmenplus.com and join as a legend